Okay, so just going to look at gis, the pros and cons, the different sort of things that you can get. Hopefully my bias won't inform things too much, but yeah, if you're looking at getting your first gi, maybe your second gi, this might be helpful for you. So what we're going to do is we'll start at the cheaper end, and then we'll work our way up to the more expensive end. This is a rule of thumb. So gis, different brands, there's every price point you can imagine now. But yeah, this will give you a loose idea. So first off, at the cheaper end, this is what we've got. Yeah, so this is the sort of thing that you'd get as your first gi. This is what we give to people. We give this to them half price. Cheap gis nowadays are actually quite good. I don't know if stitching is standardised, but I never really hear of gis training anymore. My first ever gi tour, but that was a really cheap judo gi. The only gis I do hear of tearing, it's from smaller brands. I don't know if that's a quality control thing, but bigger brands generally don't tear, and that's at every price point. So yeah, the cheaper end, I'd say what you tend to sacrifice is the fit. You're gonna have to buy a size up or a size down. I know with the blitz gis you have to generally buy a size up, and then the pants are still really short. But for the price, you can't really complain. It's fairly thin material. It's a fairly light gi, rubberized collar. But yeah, for a value gi, you can't go wrong nowadays. I can't think of any bad gis. And then as you do spend a little more, you'll get something like this. Yeah, like this. It's a Tatami Nova, still a single weave gi, maybe a touch heavier. And I think that's the thing, is you spending more, generally, the next gi we'll look at's a bit different, is the material gets a bit heavier, tends to wear a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, this is, again, it's it's a really nice gi for the money. I wear this most of the time, this gi. I've had it a few months. It's very nice. It's doing very well. Again, you can move really nicely. Typical of single weave gis. If you're training a couple of days a week, you wash it on the Monday, after training, obviously, you get home and you hang that up straight away. Hopefully, if you've got your heating on, that's going to be dry for the Wednesday. It's going to be dry for your next session, which is a really nice plus of, single weave gis, that they don't take forever to dry. If you're in the UK, you don't live in Brazil. I think that's quite an important factor to, consider. And then as we're spending even more still, you'll get something like this maybe. Yeah, so this is a Tatami Zero G. This is a pretty typical example of an ultralight gi. Thinner material, so you spend more to get less gi. But yeah, tends to have a smaller collar. Very, very, very nice to grip. Say the pluses of these is you feel super mobile. It's like you're not even wearing a gi. When you're spending this sort of money, the cut tends to be very nice. Coming up to just your wrist, that's roughly where you want your gi to be when your arm's stretched out, not over your hand, not right the way up your forearm. If you're on the cusp of weight categories, this makes a lot of sense. Those few hundred grams you save over a single weave, or definitely, you might save a kilo over a heavier gi, that's going to get you in the weight category. At the expense of the grips. You get a grip on this, it's very, very difficult to clear that off. It's so nice to grab. But yeah, I suppose that's the trade-off you've got to make. Or if you just want to think you're doing no gi all the time, this is a good option. Then as we're spending more still, you'll get something like this. Yeah, so this is a Tatami Estilo. It's a pretty good example of like a premium single weave gi. It's a little heavier than the cheaper gis, the more value ones. It's a lot heavier than the ultralight gi, as you might expect. The ultralight is ultralight. But yeah, it's nice. I don't know if you're just really paying for the contrast stitching and the extra patches, but yeah, they wear well. You can tell I've worn this quite a bit, and this is, I'd say, typical of where gis do wear out on the collar. I say very, very few do tear. I just don't know of it anymore. You're going to wear it out before it's going to give way in my example. But then as we're spending more still, you be getting something like this, which is this is a double weave gi. Very heavy. So this is the sort of thing that I like to wear. I find like the thickness, it's a really heavy material. I find it quite reassuring. Feel, yeah. When people try and grip you, it's difficult. It's got a big fat lapel on it. Yeah, it's a pain. The problem I've got with this and sort of the duality is if you're training in the gym with a heavyweight gi on, and then you're having to compete in your ultralight to make the weight category, you've been training, people can't get the grips, you compete, people can get the grips. You've been cheating in the gym the full time, you're kidding yourself. So if you are planning on getting a heavyweight gi, don't be doing that just for the reason of it being more difficult to grip. They are nice. It's going to last really well. The extra material will help that. But any perceived advantage, you shouldn't be getting a gi for that, because when you come to compete, you're actually going to have handicapped yourself. You'll be at a disadvantage. And just an example of something that I have worn literally to death is this, which is this is the first proper gi I ever really got. If you want your gis to last, don't put them in the dryer. Wash them, hang them up, air dry them every time. If your pants are going to wear out, your pants are going to wear out on the knee anyway, odds on. So if you want to dry them, you can buy pants separate of jackets. But yeah, this is the material wears out. That's what's going to go. If you're interested about how to wash your gi, I'll try and put a link somewhere, and you can watch that. Done a video on how to wash your gi. Exciting stuff, washing gis. But yeah, I hope that's been informative. You've got an idea of the difference in gis you can get. There's another gi that I don't have an example of, like lifestyle gis, where it's beautifully embroidered in here. If you're into that, it's out there. You can look for it. You buy in the design, but if you like design, great. So yeah. As always, make an informed decision. Have a good day.